Welcome to another Thread Level Orange vidcast video YouTube thing. I've never really gotten the hang of what to call this. But I haven't done it in a little while. There was a lot going on, and so I just was kind of distracted a little bit, but I think it's time to get back on it. I mean, we're getting so close. That I think it's important that I discuss some more stuff. Hey, come here. Introduce you to a couple new members of the family. We've got Powell here. Found him, digging around in the trash can. I don't mean that I was digging in the trash cans. I mean he was. So this is Colin Powell. Come here. Hey, come here. Up. Come here. Show people at home who you are. This is Ladybird right here. She was also digging around in the trash. So it's gotten a little cramped here. But it's okay. It's fine. I think I better let them out. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, we're back. Sorry, it gets kind of cramped and loud in here sometimes. Anyway, back to Thread Level Orange, which is what you guys really came here for. You guys didn't come here to see cats and dogs. So I felt like this week, I've focused a lot on what they look like and what they do, what they say. I feel like one of the things, they always say you can't judge a book by its cover, but can you judge a president? So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be judging presidents and candidates based on their book covers. So let's start with probably the oldest book, and this is Jimmy Carter's Talking Peace, published in 1993. I guess it's about the nature of peace negotiations and is based around the 1977 Camp David Accords. So, it's basically a book about peace. We look at this cover and, you can see he seems like a happy guy. He seems to be doing a pretty good job. Just kind of standing there. Interesting note. It's called Talking Peace: A Vision for the Next Generation here. I don't know if you can see that. So overall, I think it's a pretty good looking book. I think, I haven't read it, honestly, but it sounds good. Next up is another guy that I've mentioned before. By the way, he still kind of looks like Don Knotts here. Just tie it all together. Vermin Supreme, Mr. Rubber Boot Head guy. He wrote a book called I, Pony. Apparently that's because his whole campaign is based around the idea that when elected, everyone will have a pony. So thus, I, Pony, Blueprint for New America. From what I could tell, it appears to be more of a novel than like a actual political, political story, political fact thing. And this is basically, it's a story about how he became ruler for life, and saved the world from the destruction by oil drilling. There was apparently he encouraged whale farming, making breeding farms, growing whales, and using them for food and oil because apparently the country is destroyed and destitute. Interesting. It seems like it might be an interesting story. He seems like an interesting guy. Pick it up. It's on Amazon. It was published in, this year, July 18th of this year. Next one up is one that a lot of people have seen, The Audacity of Hope by Obama. It's sort of his his idea of what politics should look like. What drives us. It talks about faith. It talks about American exceptionalism. Talks about what we can do to improve. But overall, it's the subtitle is Thoughts on Reclaiming the American Dream, and it's just kind of his. It was it's his thing. It was published in. I forgot to look this one up. I'm sorry, guys. It was published in 2006, so 10 years ago. So this was sort of like another book I'll be talking about. It's sort of a hope for the future. Next is a book I've mentioned before. Lloyd Barker's book, Black Gold: How Good Slaves Made America Great. Published in 2003. And it's basically an in-depth look at the money machine that was slavery. It goes into detail about how slavery allowed the country to grow so fast and so powerful so fast, become an economic power to be contended with, all that jazz. One thing it didn't really appear to discuss is the dehumanizing factor of slavery, and basically the lives, how the lives of slaves were affected by slavery, and all that jazz. So it looks at it from the economic side, completely ignores the social side of things, socio-political aspect of it. So it's an interesting economics history. Don't expect it to be the full story, I guess is what I'm saying. And then the final book cover I want to talk about is, of course, Looking Forward, A Hope War by Jason Clum. This is basically similar to The Audacity of Hope, and I'll give him this. As he has some audacity printing this. It's basically his dream for the future, but he's writing it kind of a hope memoir. So it's like a memoir of what he hopes he'll achieve. I feel like it's a bit presumptive. I told him many times, don't publish that. You're setting a precedent about yourself that you may not want to do. And of course he published it anyway. But just a couple things that just stood out to me. I own 2 of these books, so I could compare 2 of these books. But there's a lot of similarities between Jay and Obama. He's he really he kind of he seemed to come out of nowhere for most people. So there's a lot to be said between these two. But I guess the first part I want to read on is Jason's section on abortion. So basically he goes on to say, he talks about the general idea of what is it, what's the problem, what are we fighting for. He says that the key question in this debate seems to be, does life start at conception, birth, or afterwards? The surprising answer to this question is no. Instead of getting bogged down contemplating the beginnings of life, we should stop abortion where the problem begins. Outlawing menstruation. Yeah, has incredible social and political wingspan. It hits the heart of the major concerns surrounding abortion. It keeps those finicky fetuses from forming until they're needed. It's like with a chicken, you're still losing a potential baby, so why risk monthly abortion when you could eliminate the controversy already through your fallopian tubes? Yes, monthly abortion. Aren't we all just a little bit tired of PMS? Isn't that a little 1982? So that's what he has to say about abortion. Let's see what Obama had to say about abortion, shall we? He talks about the religious absolutism of the Christian right, a movement that gained traction in the undeniably difficult issue of abortion, but which soon flowered into something much broader, a movement that insists not only that Christianity is America's dominant faith, but the particular fundamentalist brand of that faith should drive public policy, overriding any alternative source of understanding. So basically what we got here is abortion, the abortion fight, an issue of religion? So do we talk to religion and tell it to change? Or is it biology, and do we tell biology and evolution and everything to change? That's what we got here. The next part that we could discuss here is gay rights. Yes. And while he kind of summarizes the overall concept of gay rights and family values, he's talking about specifically gay parents. So it says, if a man and a woman are gay, why should we prevent the two from bringing into this world their expression of love like any other straight couple? Okay, so you listen to that and you think, oh, he means gay couple or lesbian couple adopting. It says, I've heard complaints along the lines of gay people shouldn't be allowed to make love. And again, I'm dumbfounded. These are human beings. Loving human beings, just like the rest of the straight population. While it physically prevents a gay man and woman from making love with one another like their heterosexual counterparts. Perhaps I don't understand what homosexual is. Whereas, and I was reminded that it is my obligation, not only as an elected official in the pluralistic society, but also as a Christian, to remain open to the possibility that my unwillingness to support gay marriage is misguided, just as I cannot claim infallibility in my support of abortion rights. I must admit that I've been infected with society's prejudices and predilections and have attributed them to God. So, he understands, he has a story here about interacting with a gay woman and her female partner. And so, yeah, anyway, and then last, I just had to pick only 3 things out of these books to discuss. Lastly, minorities. And this is a section about several promises, so it's pretty short, the whole section on it. All men may be created equal, but it doesn't always look that way. I want to take on bigotry where it starts. Words. From my studies, there is one constant about prejudice. Most of it seems to be directed at minorities. We need to take the word minority back, and once we've received it, make it illegal. If we suggest the word equal American to replace it, we will instantly undo years of personal experience and stubbornness, bringing racism to a quick and swift end. In fact, our former American bigots will likely, if my studies prove correct, have a newfound respect for the very equal Americans that inspired the change in the first place. In order for a wound to heal, you must first cover it up completely. Here. I don't know if this guy knows anything about it. To think clearly about race, then, requires us to see the world on a split screen, to maintain in our sights the kind of America that we want, while looking squarely at America as it is, to acknowledge the sins of our past and the challenges of the present without becoming trapped in cynicism or despair. I have witnessed a profound shift in race relations in my lifetime. I have felt it as surely as one feels a change in the temperature. When I hear some in the black community deny those changes, I think it not only dishonors those who struggled on our behalf, but also robs us of our agency to complete the work they began. But as much as I insist that things have gotten better, I am mindful of this truth as well. Better isn't good enough. So, words. Just get rid of the words. Racism's just words, right? That's all it is. All racism is words. And this is about, we need to make changes. We need to, dig into the foundation, make changes. So, I don't know. I don't think that Jay truly, this is the, it's only, honestly, 40 pages, and that includes his glossary of terms. I don't think that the nuance that he has can be found in a 140-page book, and that's why I was so against him publishing this, because you look at this, and on the surface, it doesn't help him. But if you dig down deep, you learn he cares about everyone, and he truly has feelings for what's out there. Just he has a hard time saying it, and that can be learned. So overall, that's judging politicians by their covers. Hopefully, hopefully that helps you make some decisions in the future or in the past. Carter, I don't know. Thanks a lot, and this was Thread Level Orange.